This lecture will talk about the sinuses in the brain. We'll begin here with the superior sagittal sinus. The superior sagittal sinus is formed by the union of meningeal veins at the crista galli, which is part of the ethmoid bone here, and runs backwards within the attached upper margin of the falx cerebrum from the crista galli to the confluence of sinuses posteriorly. This is the falx cerebrum, or cerebri, and this divides the two hemispheres, left and right. The inferior sagittal sinus, which is just this, is formed in the lower free margin of the falx cerebrum and runs posteriorly to drain into the straight sinus. This is the straight sinus here. We'll remove the falx cerebrum so we can appreciate these a bit better. The straight sinus here then drains into the confluence of sinuses with the superior sagittal sinus, which is just here. From the confluence, there is drainage into the left and right transverse sinuses, which is hidden by the tentorium cerebelli, which we'll remove now. Now that this is removed, we can see the transverse sinus here, which drains into an S-looking sinus, the sigmoid sinus. The sigmoid sinus is underneath the meningeal cranial dura. We'll hide this now. As we can see, the transverse sinus drains into the sigmoid sinus. Before we see where the sigmoid sinus leaves the skull, we need to look at the cavernous sinus. This is the cavernous sinus. It is of importance as many cranial nerves run near or through it. Notably, cranial nerves 3, 4, 5 first division, 5 second division, and 6. We should be able to see cranial nerve 5 just here. This is cranial nerve 5. This is the cavernous sinus. Here we can see the 3 divisions of trigeminal nerve, which is cranial nerve 5, the ophthalmic division, which runs into the superior orbital fissure, the maxillary division, which runs into foramen rotundum, and the mandibular division, which runs into foramen ovale. The mandibular division is the only one of trigeminal nerve that doesn't run near or on it, as these two do. Returning to the cavernous sinus, the cavernous sinus drains into the sigmoid sinus via 2 sinuses. The superior petrosal sinus, which courses the petrosal ridge of the temporal bone, and the inferior petrosal sinus, which drains directly into the sigmoid sinus here. To see, the sigmoid sinus then enters into the jugular foramen, just here, and enters the jugular foramen to become the internal jugular vein. The internal jugular vein can be seen through here. This is the sigmoid, or this is the other end of the sigmoid sinus, as you can see, and this is the internal jugular vein. The internal jugular vein then drains into, with the subclavian vein, into the brachiocephalic vein. The brachiocephalic vein then drains into the superior vena cava, which drains into the right atrium. That is the sinus drainage of the brain.